The environment on an active Sydney industrial worksite destroys unprotected concrete within weeks. Maintaining a surface under these conditions requires entirely different operational protocols. The baseline stress is completely different. Physical damage occurs daily. Steel-capped boots and constant forklift traffic shred standard vinyl flooring and rapidly wear down commercial sealants, stripping the floor of its protective layer. The core variable is chemical load. Office spills sit superficially, but industrial concrete absorbs hydraulic oils deep into its structural layers. Applying typical sealants over this saturated surface causes the trapped oils to push upward, making the new layer violently buckle and peel. Clean Group operates daily in industrial hubs like Miranda and Caringbah, specifically to extract these contaminants and restore floors that facility managers thought were permanently condemned. Treating worksite floor care as a superficial, aesthetic task guarantees rapid material decay and creates severe safety liabilities across the entire facility. It is a structural engineering problem. The restoration protocol begins with Step 1, a comprehensive pre-clean hazard assessment. No heavy machinery touches the floor until the surface chemistry is mapped. Professional technicians carry portable testing kits on site to measure 3 metrics: the exact depth of oil saturation, the pH levels of the concrete, and the internal moisture content. On older refurbished building sites, this testing frequently uncovers concealed health hazards embedded in the older layers of the building materials. The most common risk on demolition and renovation sites is heavy lead paint residue, entirely hidden beneath newer, failing floor finishes. This is a standard AS 4361.1 compliance report. Any discovery of lead requires immediate adherence to these strict national management guidelines to ensure hazardous residue is handled safely during preparation. Technicians also scan for asbestos-containing adhesives, which were routinely used to lock down old ceramic tiles and vinyl. When asbestos is identified, cleaning operations halt immediately. The mandatory protocol requires engaging licensed asbestos removalists and securing official clearance certificates before any mechanical intervention can proceed. Bypassing this strict hazard identification phase turns a routine concrete wash into an environmental violation, triggering immediate site shutdowns and heavy legal penalties. With the site cleared, the process moves to Step 2, mechanical and chemical cleaning. For raw concrete saturated with years of machinery oil, friction alone fails. Technicians flood the slab with heavy-duty alkaline degreasers. These specific chemicals are required to break down the tight molecular bonds of industrial oil trapped deep inside the concrete pores. Once the bonds break, extraction begins. Hot water pressure washers operating at 3,000 psi blast the emulsified oil and heavy sludge out of the structural slab. For the most severe oil stains, a specialized chemical poultice is applied and left overnight. As it dries, it physically draws the remaining deep-set oil out of the slab and up to the surface for removal. Treating previously coated floors requires navigating a common industry error known as the coating fallacy. Look at this cross-section of a coated floor. If you simply pour a new layer of epoxy over an old failing coat, the two materials cannot bond. The new layer will inevitably peel and delaminate under heavy traffic. The correct engineering protocol is to use diamond grinding. This completely obliterates the old, failing layers, grinding down until nothing remains but a raw, heavily textured concrete surface. This grinding must be paired with simultaneous dust extraction so particulates do not contaminate the air or settle back onto the floor. A completely dust-free, raw surface allows the new epoxy to form a deep, interlocking structural bond. Mechanical intervention is only successful when it entirely eradicates the previous structural failures, taking the surface all the way back to the bare bond line. Immediately following the 3,000 psi wash and diamond grinding, the raw concrete enters a highly vulnerable state. The aggressive cleaning removes all surface barriers, leaving the microscopic pores of the concrete completely open and entirely exposed to the ambient worksite environment. This diagram illustrates Step 3. A penetrating densifier, or a fresh coat of epoxy, is applied directly to the bare slab. It flows deep into the open pockets and cures, locking the floor beneath a rigid, impermeable barrier. To maintain the integrity of this new barrier under constant industrial stress, facilities implement scheduled monthly maintenance programs. Without this final protective layer, the next hydraulic leak or chemical spill penetrates deeper into the raw concrete than the first one did, rapidly accelerating the structural damage of the slab. Step 4 focuses entirely on worksite health and safety protocols and mandatory site compliance. Before stepping onto an active site, every crew member must present current white cards, wear full personal protective equipment including steel-capped boots, and operate under pre-approved safe work method statements. The restoration process itself introduces a temporary hazard. Industrial degreasing agents can leave behind an invisible, highly slippery chemical residue. Every floor must meet the rigid AS4586 wet and dry slip resistance requirements to legally operate. To achieve this, technicians execute a mandatory double rinse protocol, using pure, clean water to fully neutralize the degreaser chemicals and restore surface traction. This schematic shows an industrial pendulum slip tester. Professionals use this calibrated equipment to physically verify the exact friction limits of the floor before signing off on the restoration. For a standard 250 square meter industrial unit with moderate contamination, completing this full extraction, protection, and compliance protocol requires an investment of around $1,680. A worksite floor is not legally restored until it passes this friction test and is formally certified as hazard-free. Executing high-pressure washing and diamond grinding on a heavily trafficked active construction site requires precise logistical coordination. Professional crews submit site-specific inductions well in advance. They schedule the heavy extraction phases to work directly around active trades, delivery timelines, and heavy machinery paths, preventing operational delays. These ISO accreditations for quality, environmental management, and workplace health and safety ensure the process meets strict legal standards. Clean Group operates with 25 years of Sydney-based industrial experience under these exact parameters. Standard commercial cleaners estimate pricing based on floor size alone. Specialized worksite teams conduct free, on-site hazard inspections first, ensuring the final quote reflects the actual chemical and structural conditions of the floor. Worksite floor maintenance is a rigid engineering protocol. Stop applying standard office cleaning methods to industrial chemical loads. Contact Clean Group today for a precise site assessment and secure your floor before the concrete fails.